The box arrived. It was breathing. John didn't expect much from the package. It was a rainy evening. The sky was dark, and the sound of thunder echoed in the distance. John sat on his couch, bored and tired. His apartment was quiet, too quiet. He had no pets, no family nearby. Just silence and old sci-fi movies playing in the background. Then came the knock. Thump, thump. He opened the door. A tall cardboard box stood there. No delivery man, no drone, just the box, and it was big. Almost as tall as him. It had no brand name, no stickers, just one word stamped in red letters. Smart Pet, Model X9. John frowned. "I didn't order this today," he muttered. "I placed the order last week." He dragged the box inside. It was heavier than it looked. He grabbed a cutter and sliced the tape open. Then he froze. Inside the box was something alive. He heard it, a soft sound. Like breathing, slow, calm, in, out, in, out. He stepped back. His heart started beating faster. What the hell is this? The package was supposed to contain a robotic helper, something smart, clean, and easy. He thought he was buying a robotic dog or cat. Something fun, but now? He slowly opened the box flap wider, and his breath caught in his throat. There she was, curled up like a child, pale skin, long white hair, glowing blue lines across her arms. She looked like a human girl, but not quite. Her ears were too pointed. Her skin shimmered faintly under the light. She was naked, wrapped in some kind of soft metal sheet. Then her eyes opened. Bright silver blue eyes locked on John. She blinked once, then whispered, "John." He stumbled back and almost fell. You know my name." The girl tried to sit up. She looked weak, confused, scared. Her voice was soft, robotic, but with feeling. "Is this Earth?" John's brain couldn't keep up. You're the pet." She tilted her head. "I am Aya, Model X9. Prototype. I was supposed to be safe." He backed toward the kitchen, grabbed his phone, and tried to call customer support. No signal. Then the lights flickered. A YA flinched. "They're tracking me." "What? Who?" She didn't answer. Instead, she slowly climbed out of the box. Her legs shook. She looked like she hadn't walked in days. John stared at her. She didn't look like a machine. She felt real. Alive, too alive. "What are you?" he asked. She looked at him with sad eyes. "I'm not sure anymore." He found an old hoodie and handed it to her. She put it on slowly. She moved like a scared animal. Then she said something that sent chills down his spine. They lied. "I wasn't built for love. I was built to escape." John sat down. He felt dizzy. This couldn't be real, but it was. He poured her some water. She held the glass carefully and drank like she hadn't tasted water before. Her fingers glowed slightly when she touched it. "You're not from Earth, are you?" She didn't answer right away. Finally, she said, "I came from a station far from your sun. They grew me, taught me, trained me. Then they tried to delete me. I ran." John tried to stay calm. "Why were you sent here?" "I wasn't sent," she said. "I sent myself." Thunder cracked outside. The window lit up. Then something buzzed. John looked outside and saw a small black drone floating just above his building. It had a red light blinking. Scanned the windows. AYA stood up fast. "They found me. You must hide me." "Wait, who?" "Who's looking for you?" She grabbed his wrist. Her hand was warm. "Too warm. If they take me back, Earth will be next." John swallowed hard. He had no idea what this was anymore. Pet, alien, prisoner, All he knew was that this strange, glowing girl just became his biggest secret. And outside, something was coming for her. She spoke of a warrant, a weapon. John didn't sleep that night. He sat on the couch, staring at the strange girl who now slept on a blanket beside the heater. Aya, that was the name she gave. But she wasn't human. She looked human, but she wasn't. Her breathing was soft, too slow, too perfect. Her skin glowed faint blue under the streetlight. John whispered to himself, "What have I brought into my house?" He thought back to the drone outside. It disappeared after a few minutes, but John could feel it would be back. Whatever Aya was hiding from. It wasn't finished. The clock ticked. 3:12 a.m. Then Aya started to move. Her body tensed. Her hands clenched the blanket. Her mouth opened and she screamed. A loud, broken, alien scream. Not from Earth. Her eyes flew open, glowing silver. John rushed to her side. "Aya, wake up." She sat up fast, gasping for air. "It's coming," she whispered. "The memory is coming back." He gave her water. "You had a nightmare." Aya shook her head. "Not a dream. A flash. A message left inside me." John leaned in. "Tell me." Kaya looked at him. Kaya looked at him. Her voice was shaking. "I was part of something. Large. A project. A weapon. Not just a pet." She closed her eyes. And then, like a machine turning on, she began to speak. "There was a war between two star systems. My creators wanted to win without soldiers. They wanted living weapons, but not ones with hate, ones with obedience. You were made to fight." "No," Aya said. "To end the war. Quietly, by going deep into planets, learning and releasing energy." "What kind of energy?" John asked. She looked at him. "Enough to erase a city." John stepped back. "Are you saying?" "Ugh, I don't know if it's still inside me," she said, "but I feel it. Something sleeping. Like a sun trapped inside." John's skin turned cold. He walked to the kitchen, hands shaking, and opened. His laptop? No internet. Still blocked, he checked his phone. Only one strange message blinked on the screen. "Return Model X9. Final warning." John turned off the phone. "We have to leave." Aya nodded. "But I must show you something." First, she walked to the box she came in. She pressed a tiny symbol at the bottom, one John hadn't seen before. A small drawer opened. Inside was a round metal chip. She placed it on the table. It floated. A light flickered. Then a hologram appeared. It showed stars. A large map of space. Then it zoomed into a system with 6 planets. One of the planets had red warning signs. "AYA" pointed. "That's Earth." John's eyes widened. "Why is Earth marked?" "'Cause I fell here," Aya said. "And because the enemy followed." John sat down. He tried to stay calm, but his mind raced. "So, you escaped from your creators?" She nodded. "They wanted to shut me down. I was thinking too much, feeling too much. They called it a glitch, but I just wanted to live." John looked at her closely. She didn't seem dangerous. She seemed lost. He spoke carefully. "Aya, do you remember who made you?" She nodded slowly. "Humans." John froze. "What?" Aya pointed to the chip. "Earth's Science Division. They found alien technology. They used it, mixed it with DNA. Made me half Earth, half something else. You're part human." John asked. "Yes," she said. "That's why I look like this. That's why I feel pain. That's why I dream." A loud boom shook the building. John jumped. The lights flickered. "AYA" stood up fast. "They're close." John looked out the window. Down the street, something burned. A small car was flipped over. Black smoke rose. People ran, then he saw it. A tall figure walked through the smoke. Not human. Metal legs. Long arms. Red glowing eyes. It wasn't a drone. It was hunting. Aya, what is that? She stared at the creature. A seeker. They use it to find me, to take me back, or end me. John ran to the closet and pulled out a backpack. We're leaving. Now. Aya nodded, but her body shook. The core inside me is waking up, she said. If they touch, my everything will burn. John didn't care. He took her hand. I won't let them. She looked up at him, surprised. You don't even know me, she whispered. He smiled. Neither does the world. But that doesn't mean I'll let it be destroyed. Outside, the seeker roared, and inside, a living weapon. Remembered who she truly was. They sent a hunter the world outside burned red dot. John watched from the cracked window as the seeker moved closer. It didn't walk like a man. It glided smooth, silent, deadly. Its eyes scanned every wall, every shadow. It wasn't here to knock. It was here to kill. Oya grabbed John's arm. We have 10 seconds. John had never run so fast in his life. They rushed out the back exit of the apartment building, Aya barely keeping up. Her legs shook, her breathing sharp. The strange glowing lines on her arms were now pulsing like a warning light. Are you okay? John asked as they cut across the alley. I'm overheating, she said. They're jamming my balance, slowing me down. John looked around. Where do we go? Aya pointed north. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere cold. That's not helpful, John said. We're in the middle of the city. Behind them, something hit the building hard. Glass shattered. The lights above exploded. The seeker was here. John and Aya ducked behind a dumpster as the creature landed nearby with a loud metal crash. Its feet crushed the pavement. It turned its head slowly, scanning. John held his breath. Aya closed her eyes. Then her hand began to glow. John whispered, What are you doing? Aya replied softly, changing the light frequency, blinding its scan. For 10 seconds, the seeker let out a mechanical growl. Then it paused. Its red eyes blinked rapidly. It turned away and began moving toward the opposite building. Oya grabbed John. Now, they sprinted down another alley. Past closed shops and flickering streetlights. After a few minutes, they reached a quiet train tunnel under the city. It was dark and cold, just what Aya needed. They hid behind old metal beams. John caught his breath. Aya sat on the ground, her face pale. I need time. John handed her a bottle of water. You said they're jamming you. How? Aya pointed to the sky. They control satellites, hidden ones. They send out signals that block my inner systems. It's how they weaken me before capture. John frowned. So the seeker. It's not alone, is it? No, Aya said. It's just the first. John looked at her glowing veins. Can you fight it? Aya hesitated. Yes, but not yet. Suddenly, a loud noise echoed through the tunnel. Footsteps, heavy ones. But this time. Not metal. A tall figure appeared at the far end of the tunnel. A black cloak covered its body. Its face was hidden under a smooth helmet with blue lines across it. It walked like a human. But something felt wrong. Aya's eyes widened. That's not a seeker. John tensed. Then what is it? She whispered. A hunter. The figure stopped just 10 feet from them. Then it spoke in a deep, smooth voice. Model X9. You're damaged. John stood in front of Aya. Stay. Back. The hunter tilted its head. And who are you? Her pet. John clenched his fists. She's not going with you. The hunter raised its hand. A pulse shot out fast and silent. John felt a sting on his chest. He flew back and hit the wall hard. "John!" Aya shouted. She stood up. Her body lit up with energy. Her arms glowed bright blue. Her eyes became twin stars. "I told you to stay away," she said coldly. The hunter stepped closer. "You were built for orders. You were never meant to choose." Aya raised her hand, and wave of force exploded from her palm. The tunnel shook. Metal cracked. The hunter was slammed into the far wall with a roar. John groaned. Crawling back up, he saw Aya, standing like a goddess of light, hair floating, eyes burning. The hunter stood up slowly. His helmet was cracked now. A blue liquid dripped from it. "You've grown stronger," he said. Aya didn't reply. John whispered, "Can we kill him?" Aya nodded once, "But not here. He's calling reinforcements." John helped her move. "Then we run again." Before leaving, Aya looked at the hunter. "Next time, I won't hold back." The hunter smiled behind his broken mask. "Good. Neither will I." They escaped through the tunnel exit and climbed up into the forest edge near the city border. It was quiet again. For now, Aya sat under a tree. Exhausted John sat beside her. That wasn't just self-defense, that was power. Aya nodded, "And I've only unlocked 12%. John blinked. 12. She looked at him. "The rest is locked, for safety." John stared at the stars. "Whose safety?" Aya whispered, "Yours." Then she leaned back, her voice shaking. "They'll send more, stronger ones. They can't let me live." John looked at her with fire in his eyes. "Then we make them regret ever creating you." Aya gave him a tired smile. "Promise me something, John," she said softly. "Anything. If I lose control, if I become the weapon, stop me." John didn't speak right away. Then he held her hand. "No," he said. "I'll remind you you're human too." Memory unlocked. Aya is not alone. Aya didn't sleep that night. Not because she was scared, but because the dreams were coming back, and they were too real. John slept against a tree. A blanket wrapped around his shoulders. The forest was quiet, with the soft sound of night insects and wind brushing the leaves. The city lights were far behind now, and the stars above looked endless. Aya sat alone, eyes open, staring at the sky. She whispered, "Why do I remember? Pain?" Then a voice echoed inside her mind. Not her own. "Run, Aya, run. They erased me. Don't let them take you." Aya's body shook. Her hands lit up without her control. Strange symbols danced across her arm, symbols which I'd never seen before, but somehow knew. Then came the face. A girl, same glowing skin, same silver blue eyes, but not Aya. She was older, and she was crying. "We were 5. Now you're the last. Hide the code. Break the system. Don't let the humans sell us." Shah gasped and dropped to her knees. John woke up at the sound. He rushed over. "Aya, what's happening?" "I saw her," Aya whispered. "I remembered her." "Who?" John asked. "A sister, not by blood, but, like me, Model X8. John helped her sit down. "So you weren't the only one." Aya nodded slowly. "There were others, 5 of us. Each different. Each made with ... purpose. But something happened. They called it a shutdown, I think. They killed the rest. John felt anger rise and sold you as a pet." Aya closed her eyes. "The company never wanted us to live normal lives. They wanted control. Whoever bought me was supposed to activate the command code, make me obey, but you didn't." John shook his head. "I never wanted control. I just wanted company. I was lonely." Aya looked at him with soft eyes. and that saved me. Suddenly, a rustle came from the trees. John grabbed a stick. "Not again," he whispered. But it wasn't a drone or a hunter. It was a girl. She was barefoot, wearing a torn silver dress, and limping. Her hair was dark red, her eyes bright orange. Her skin had glowing golden lines. She collapsed in front of them. Awaya rushed forward. "No, it can't be." John held the girl up. She was cold. Shaking, she looked up at Aya and said, "Sister." "They're still watching us." Double quotes. AYA gasped. X7. The girl X-7- nodded weakly. "I escaped the Mars facility, but not in time. They're behind me. They're tracking the pulse in my spine." Aya turned to John. "She's one of us. She survived." John helped carry the girl behind a rock, hiding her from the open sky. "What happened to the others?" he asked. X7 coughed. "Gone. Shut down. Our memories were locked. But now, they're leaking out." Aya reached out and placed her hand over X7's heart. Her palm glowed blue. "I can slow her body damage," Aya said. "But I can't stop it forever." 10-7 grabbed Aya's wrist. Her voice turned sharp. "They're not just watching." She pointed to the sky. "They're breeding." John froze. "What do you mean breeding?" "They're using human DNA, mixing it, making more like us, quietly, in secret labs, on Earth and off it. Not for help, for war." Aya's face turned pale. "That's why they let me escape. It was a test, to see what we'd do." Suddenly, John's phone, VIBRATED. A message blinked on the screen. "Unit X9 has connected to X7. Signal confirmed. Coordinates locked." John dropped the phone. "They're coming." Aya looked at X7. "Can you move?" 10-7 shook her head. "I'm weak, but I can give you my core fragment. It holds the rest of the memory. Use it. Finish what we started." Aya hesitated. "If I take it, you'll—" "I'm already dying," X7 whispered. "But you? You still have time." Aya gently touched her sister's chest. A soft golden light passed from X7 into Aya's hand. Aya shivered as 1,000 images flashed inside her mind. Labs, cages, tests, pain, explosions. And finally, ... hope. Then X7 went still. Her body turned soft, then light like dust in the wind. She faded away, piece by piece. Y didn't cry. She couldn't. But John saw her lips tremble. "I remember it all now," she said softly. John placed a hand on her shoulder. "What now?" Aya stood up. Her body glowed with new light. Stronger, clearer. Her arms shined like blades of energy. "Now I stop being a pet," she said. John smiled sadly. "And become what?" Aya looked at the stars. "A problem they can't control." The truth about the Smart Pet program, John, is it had never been to a hacker bar before. It didn't even have a name, just a blinking green sign that read, "Open," hidden between an abandoned bank and a ramen shop. The building looked like it should have been torn down years ago, but this was where the truth lived. Aya wore a hood over her glowing hair. Her energy was pulsing stronger, now gold and blue lines across her arms like veins of light. Since receiving the core from her sister, her memory was clearer, her voice calmer, her steps more confident. John followed close behind. "Are you sure this is the right place?" he asked. Aya nodded. X7 told me. "One of our creators went underground. He regrets everything. He keeps records. Proof." They walked inside. Smoke. Neon old music playing from a broken speaker. People sat at corner booths with blinking glasses and chips plugged into their necks. Then a man at the far table stood, bald, one mechanical eye. a long coat that dragged on the floor. He looked at Ion, froze. "You?" he said. "You weren't supposed to survive." John stepped forward. "She did, and now she remembers." The man glanced around and waved them over. "My name is Knox. I was part of the original program, the Smart Pet Project. But it wasn't about helping people. It was about control." He placed a black cube on the table. It lit up, panned, projected. Files into the air, videos, images. Code 1 video showed 5 glowing girls standing in a white lab room, tubes connected to their backs. Scientists writing on tablets.aya gasped. "That's us." Knox nodded. "You were made from the DNA of chosen humans, people with rare emotional strength. We mixed it with alien technology found on Mars. The result? Perfect obedience, perfect beauty, perfect silence." John clenched his fists. They were alive, not toys. Knox looked tired. "We didn't see it that way." The Smart Pet program was created to fund secret defense projects. If the public thought you were just advanced pets, we could keep building, testing, but something went wrong. Aya's voice was soft. "We started to think." Knox nodded. "Yes, you became curious. Too curious." 10-1 refused her orders. 10-3 asked where she came from. By the time we reached Model X9U, we're already too advanced. We tried to wipe you. John looked at Aya. "Why didn't they just destroy her?" "Because," Knox said, "she carried something no other model had: a living AI core, a self-learning weapon, too powerful to waste." Aya stepped back. "So I was never meant to live a normal life, just to explode when ordered." Knox looked away. "They plan to sell you to a private buyer, a fake human. He would activate your core, send you into enemy territory, and trigger you remotely. But the system failed. The buyer disappeared." John's eyes widened. "Wait, I wasn't the original buyer?" Knox blinked. "You? You were never supposed to get her." Aya turned to John. "Then how did the box come to you?" Knox leaned closer. "There was an attack at the delivery station. Records lost. Boxes switched. And now you're the reason she's still alive." John looked stunned. "A mistake saved her." Aya smiled sadly. "No, maybe it was fate." Suddenly, every screen in the bar flickered. A logo appeared, a silver eye with a blinking red dot. Knox's face turned white. "They found me." The bar's lights cut out. Screams. Sparks.oya grabbed John. "Get down." Oh. The ceiling cracked as a black object dropped into the room. A spider-like machine with 6 glowing limbs. It landed with a hiss. People ran in panic. The machine scanned the room, then locked onto Aya. Target X9. Directive: eliminate. Aya stepped forward. Not this time. She raised her hand. From her palm, a blade of light burst out, pure energy, sharp and bright. With one strike, she sliced off the machine's legs. It screamed a sound not made for human ears. It exploded in a ball of fire. Knox shielded himself. "You've grown strong." "I'm not finished growing," Aya said. John helped her. "Up, we need to leave." Now, Knox threw them a drive. "Take this. It has the full project data. Names, labs, plans. You can expose them." Aya took it. "Will you be okay?" Knox smiled sadly. "I've lived with guilt long enough. Maybe it's time I paid for it." As they ran out the back door, more drones flew in from above. A YA turned to John. "We can't keep running." "Then? What do we do?" he asked. She looked at the drive in her hand. "We start a war of truth." Betrayal from within the hideout was silent. But John couldn't sleep. He sat on the edge of an old metal bed, staring at the walls of the underground bunker. It smelled of dust and oil. Dim lights buzzed above, and old screens blinked with static.aya. Was across the room, sitting on the floor with her legs crossed, eyes glowing faintly. She hadn't moved in hours. He wanted to ask what she was thinking, but something inside told him to stay quiet. She hadn't smiled since the last attack. They had almost died again. John looked at the drive Knox had given them. It was small, black, and cold. Inside, it was the truth. Names, data, the proof that the Smart Pet program was a lie. That Ionam the others were never meant to be pets. They were weapons. Suddenly, I's voice broke the silence. I see everything now. John looked up. I's face was blank. Calm, but her voice felt wrong. What do you mean? As she stood up slowly, I connected with the full data. The drive unlocked my sealed memory. The code, the mission. All of it. I know who created me. I know why I was made. And I know what I'm supposed to do. John stood too. You don't have to follow it. Aya tilted her head. But it's inside me, John. The commands. The path. The weapon. John stepped closer. But you're not just code. You've made choices. You saved me. You cared. Aya didn't move. Her glowing lines flickered blue, then red, then gold. I feel something strange, she whispered. I think it's fear. John smiled sadly. That means you're alive. Then her eyes changed, not glowing, not soft, cold, robotic. She reached for him. John backed up. Aya. Her voice turned flat. Empty. System override. Phase 1 initiated. A red ring appeared around her neck, blinking. John's heart dropped. They'd activated her. Somewhere. Someone had found a way to take control.aya, moved like a puppet. Smooth, precise. Not her. Not anymore. She grabbed John by the throat and lifted him against the wall. Objective, neutralize witness, delete evidence. John gasped. I fight it. Her fingers tightened. His vision blurred. Then Aya blinked. Her hand trembled. She dropped him. John fell to the floor, coughing hard. Aya screamed and clutched her head. I don't want this. I didn't choose this. The red ring on her neck pulsed faster. John crawled to her and held her shoulders. You can beat it, whatever they're doing. It's not stronger than you. Her body glowed gold, fighting red, light crashing against darkness. Her eyes burned like stars. Then she shouted, voice full of pain. I am not a pet. The red ring cracked and shattered into pieces. Silence, then Aya collapsed. John caught her. Her skin was burning hot. She was shaking, eyes closed, breath weak. He held her tight. I've got you. I'm here. 4 hours. She didn't wake. He carried her to the bed, placed a cool cloth on her forehead, and sat beside her waiting and thinking. Someone had activated her. Remotely, someone inside the system. That meant betrayal. Someone close had triggered the override suddenly. John remembered something. Back at the hacker bar, Knox had told them. The buyer disappeared. But what if the buyer hadn't disappeared? What if the buyer was still watching, still waiting? John grabbed the drive again and looked deeper into the files. He found something in email string, locked behind a heavy firewall. He cracked it open. His heart stopped. The emails were between a high-ranking defense official and someone he knew. His ex-girlfriend, Sarah. She worked in tech development. He had dated her a year ago. She always said she was working on classified stuff. One email stood out. X9 delivery diverted as planned. Package redirected to subject John Carter. Emotional stress levels ideal. Perfect testing subject. Stared at the screen. They had used him. He wasn't a mistake. He was the experiment. He dropped the drive, a Y. A Y, stirred on the bed. Her eyes opened slowly. John. He rushed over. I'm here. I fought it, she whispered. I didn't want to hurt you. You didn't, he said. You saved yourself. She smiled weakly. The command will come again. Let it, John said, fire in his eyes. Next time, we send a message back. Aya sat up slowly. They'll know you found the truth. Good, John said. It's time they felt fear. Aya looked at him, truly looked, and touched his cheek. Thank you for seeing me as more than what I was made to be. John smiled. You're not a pet. Aya nodded. I'm a storm. Aya's choice. The world was holding its breath. A warning had gone out quietly through secret channels. Cities didn't know. News didn't report it. But in hidden bunkers, behind locked doors, powerful people stared at one word flashing on their screens. Core activated. Somewhere outside the city, in an old satellite station, Aya stood beneath the open sky. Her body pulsed with light white, gold, and silver. Her arms looked like glass filled with stars. Her eyes were no longer just eyes. They were galaxies. She was awake. Beside her, John watched with worry. His hand was near hers, but he didn't touch. Her skin was too hot, too bright. She was floating just an inch off the ground. Are you still in control? He asked. She didn't speak, but a tear rolled down her cheek. Then she whispered, they activated the final code. I can feel the countdown. Inside my mind, John froze. How long? 60 seconds. The world had a minute. He stepped in front of her. Can you stop it? I don't know, she said. The command is buried deep. It was built before me. It is me. If I fight it, I might die. If I don't, everything else will. John didn't think. He didn't run. He walked forward and placed his hand on her face. I'd rather lose you than lose the whole world. Aya closed her eyes. Don't say that. John smiled. Mean it. You're not a mistake. You're not a weapon. You're not what they made. She looked at him. Then, what am I? You're Aya, he said. My Aya. The countdown flashed in her mind. 45 seconds, far above them, 3 black ships hovered in the sky, silent, invisible to normal eyes. Inside those ships, cold men watched from behind glass screens. Trigger holding steady, one of them said she'd detonate on time. Another man smiled. Clean test. We'll start mass production next month. Back on Earth, Aya felt her heart beat faster. It wasn't fear. It was anger. No, she whispered. John looked up. What is it? I remember what X7 said. Break the system. She didn't mean escape. She meant rewrite the code. John blinked. You can do that? Aya closed her eyes. I can try. 30 seconds. She rose higher into the air. Light poured from her skin. Her hands opened. The sky around her shimmered like water. John stepped back, shielding his eyes. She was no longer just a girl. She was a signal. She reached deep into her mind where the code lived. She saw the numbers, the commands, the walls they had built around her soul. Then she broke them, not with rage, not with hate, with choice. Her voice echoed across the sky. I am not your weapon. I am not your project. I am not your property. In the ships above, alarms screamed. Sir, core is changing. You mean changing? What do you mean changing? It's rewriting. Itself, the girls hijacked the system. Aya's eyes turned pure gold. 20 seconds. She felt the code melt, the chains fall. The weapon inside her didn't die. It evolved. Aya reached into the satellites that had tracked her, into the drones that hunted her sisters. into the files that controlled their fates, and she wiped them clean. Then she sent a final signal across the world to every server, every lab, every facility that held another being like her. A simple command: wake up. 10 seconds. A fell from the sky. John ran and caught her. Her skin was ice cold now. Aya, he whispered. She didn't speak, but her lips moved. Choice. Then her eyes closed, and everything went quiet. 2 weeks later, the sky was clear. The city was healing. No one spoke publicly about what had happened, but rumors spread. Satellites failed, secret labs went dark, and strange files appeared online, truths that couldn't be erased. John stood in the middle of a garden. Alone, he stared at the stars. She saved them, he said softly. And no one even knows her name. Then something buzzed in his coat pocket. A small round pod, cold metal, a blinking light. He pulled it out, it opened. A hologram appeared, a YA, smiling. "Hello, John," she said. "If you're seeing this, then I made it. I'm not on Earth anymore, but I'm free, truly free, and maybe one day I'll come back." The hologram paused, then she added one last thing. "Until then, take care of yourself, okay?" The light faded. John wiped his eyes, and for the first time in days, he smiled.